Marquita, how much was your first wholesale deal?
It was $4,495.75.
And what lead source did it come from?
Direct mail.
Boom. You guys, what up? What up? Happy Thursday to my awesome Wholesale to Million family. We're back with another subscriber first wholesale deal interview. And like I said, if you guys enjoy this and you find any value, you'd like me to continue doing this, please show me some love and our guests some love. Smash the thumbs up, comment below, and let me know. And as you can see, that I'm starting to pump out a lot of these because you guys, this is what you want. What you want is what I'm gonna give you, all right? And if you don't, just let me know. And listen, we have somebody that comment, and you know exactly how I like it. If you find value, right? If you find value, if we are able to deliver value to you, smash the thumbs up and let us know. If you don't, smash the thumbs down and drop me a comment. Why? If you have the balls to smash the thumbs down, then you should have the balls to comment below. I got a comment below, Marquita. They said, you call all of your guests you brought on, it's a fake, you pay them, etc., etc., etc. So that's funny to me. So anyways,
wow.
Yeah, incredible. So anyways, you guys, before I let Marquita takes over and tell you guys her stories, all right, and obviously how she got her first wholesale deal done, the whole bit. Hopefully, you'll be able to learn a lot of from this. Also, just want to let you guys know, if you haven't subscribed to the channel and you like it, boom, smash the subscribe button. Come on, man, smash the subscribe button. Always remember to turn on the bell notification so that way when I upload a new video or when I go live on Friday for a Friday live cold call role play, you get notified. All right. And it's also too is I'm going to take a little moment here and I'll be a little selfish. For those of you who don't know, I'm running a 2K web class. It's happening on July 28th, spending a whole entire day with you. And this is not for everybody. It's only for those of you who say, Khang, this is exactly what I'm seeking for. This is exactly what I need. Let me tell you exactly what's going to happen on that day. And this is exclusively for 20 people. I'm just going to take on 20 people at this time. And what's going to happen on that day is I am going to sit down and we're going to chat with you and figure out where you're at right now and then where you want to get to. And my job is to provide you all the info, all the strategies, all the tips, everything, dissect your market, dissect your marketing plan, figure out why you're not generating leads. So it's for everybody, whether you're new, you're starting out, you're lost, you're confused, you don't know exactly what direction to do, you don't have a clear action step, exactly what you need to do to get your business started. We'll make sure we'll start off on the right foot and getting your system, your foundation laid out so that way you'll be organized. And for those of you who may be trying to scale up, all right, you're trying to get to the next level, right? Maybe you're closing 1 or 2 deals, or maybe you close 1 deal, but it takes you another 5 months, 6 months, etc., to close another deal. Trust me, there is something that you're doing wrong, because if you close your first one, now you kind of know the process. You should have that confidence, and the ball should continue to roll, but you are missing something, and something is not clicking. My job on that day is to give you all the info, right? All the company we use, the systems, everything that is a missing link to you. My job is for you to come with a goal, and my job is to give you the action plan to walk away with, that you know a very clear exactly what to do. If this is something that you're interested in, man, join me on July 28th. It's on a Sunday. You know, maybe you're lost, you're confused, you're stuck, and you're sick and tired of trying to figure this out. Let me give you the plan and solve that problem for you. And for those of you who say, well, Khang, I don't know if this is worth it, let me ask you this question. What if I'm able to help you from now to the end of the year close 1 more deals? And for those of you who's already knowing, but you lost the momentum, or maybe you're not consistently closing deals, what if 1 tips, 1 strategies, one thing that I can share with you that gets you to close 1 more deals a month? What is that worth to you? So if, like I said, this is not for everybody. It's only for the 20 that is ready and that is committed, that understand the information I'm going to give to you, but you are going to, you got to put in the work and be consistent and stay committed to this business. And I promise you the value is going to be there. So if that's you, email over to Wholesale to Millions, shoot me an email, Wholesale to Millions, put 2K web class, and I'm ready to rock and roll with you July 28th for the first 20 people. All right, you guys. Now, beside that, let's jump into Marquise. I'm going to let you take over and share with everybody your stories, how you got into the whole wholesaling, and then leading into your first wholesale deal. You go.
Well, I got into wholesaling because last year, I have a full-time job. I'm a nurse. So then last year, I wanted to make some more money. So I ended up getting a second job at a facility. And then I had a friend who asked me would I do some consulting work for her. So I ended up getting this third job. And in working those jobs, I worked my full-time job Monday through Friday. And on the weekends, I did double shifts. So like 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday. And then occasionally I would do the consulting stuff during the week. So I don't know, one day it just kind of clicked for me thinking like, if I ever wanted to make more money than I'm making right now, like I literally wouldn't have the time to do it. Like when would I sleep? And I had always been interested in real estate, but working those jobs just because I wanted to pay off some debt, make some extra money, it kind of dawned on me like, this cannot be the only way that I know how to make extra money. Like it was just kind of like one of those aha moments.
Yep.
And then around August, I ended up having a surgery. So I was down for some time. And again, I had kind of like my second confirmation that, geez, you're not working right now. So you're really not making any money right now. Like if you think about it. So I always had the interest in real estate, but I didn't really have like the why or kind of the motivation, like the reasoning behind that. So that point in my life, like those few months, just kind of really put everything together for me and made me realize like, girl, working a job every day is not the only way to make money. Like this is not going to work if you think about your future and taking care of your family, you know, things like that. So that's when I decided to really like get serious about it and stop being afraid of it. Because for so long, I just thought real estate was like such a big goal, you know, like where I'm from, people aren't real estate investors. So that was just kind of like way far out there for me.
Sure.
And I just decided to get serious about it. So around Thanksgiving, around the holiday time, I started like researching different ways to enter real estate. And I came across a wholesaling video. I don't even know whose video was first. I just came across one and it was like a click, 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 click. Like you just start watching, you get obsessed, you know, like just watching like a rabbit hole. And
How long ago was that?
That was around Thanksgiving.
Okay, November last year, okay?
Mm-hmm. November 2018.
Okay.
And then in January, I decided to start my business and came up with a name, got my LLC, because I just decided like I really want this to be like legit organized from the beginning. Like I want to do it right because my plan was already thinking ahead, like I'm going to scale this up, like I'm going to smash this. So in January, I got my LLC. February, I started getting like my bank account, just kind of doing that little tedious kind of stuff. And I started marketing for my first deal on March the 16th of this year.
Gotcha. March the 16th. So you start learning in November. Mm-hmm. And then you start the marketing. So basically from November to March, you're learning and then you're kind of setting up your foundation, making sure you get everything organized very good. And March 16th is when you launch your marketing.
Yes. I did my first like direct mail campaign. So I might have sent out like 300 letters, like really thinking I'm doing something.
Gotcha. Okay. Hold on a second. So 300 letters. Now, so March, and then when did you execute and close that first deal, Marquise?
Well, I just closed it on Monday, but I put it under contract on May the 6th.
May the 6th. Okay.
Yes, so it took me from March 16th to May the 6th to get that under contract.
Okay, and then gotcha. And then just closing on Monday, which is now it's July. So I want to give you guys a perspective here. So that's November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June, July. You guys, that is 9 months at this business. And some of you are freaking like a baby. DM me, email me, Khang, I have been at it for 2 months, man.
Right.
Help me. Can you help me for free? You haven't done everything yet. See, the thing is, Marquise, I think people, and I'm about to do a video. I don't think people understand the word, whatever it takes. They don't.
Right.
So anyways, and I'm not going to discuss that because I don't want to take up your time. So now, Marquise, let's talk about, so let's go ahead and let you continue about your marketing. So you sent out 300 letters.
300. Didn't really get anything back. I got it. Well, you know what? I take that back. I got an email from one guy. He sent me a picture of my letter
Yeah.
And he put, "Good job. I started doing this like 5 years ago."
Okay.
He wrote that on my letter and sent me a picture of that. So I was like, okay, kind of confirmation like it works, but then also I may need to be a little more creative at the same time. So I actually got 2 houses under contract before that May 6th contract, but they didn't work out. So I put them under contract way too high. So that was on April 27th. So from March 16th until April 27th, I went and I had one of those letters went to a landlord. I had mailed out like a few more hundred by then. And a landlord came back and called, and I went out there and I put both houses they own next door to each other under contract.
Okay.
And
So,
I put them under contract just too high.
okay. So Marquise, remind me, but after we done talking about your first wholesale deal yesterday, same thing happened to, I forgot his name, but same thing happened to him. And then I told him I'm going to help him dissect, because those of you who put it under contract, I'm going to try to figure it out and give you some tips so you don't make the, so you don't do the mistake again or whatever it is, right? Trying to help you out. So let's talk about the two you put under contract and didn't, okay? Okay, so let's talk about your first deal. So keep going. I'm sorry.
So I got them under that. Well, the first deal I got under contract on May the 6th.
Okay.
I found a cash buyer within 24 hours on
Wait. I'm sorry. The marketing. So now that you market 300, you got an email from a guy that comes back and then
right. And I just continued marketing, like sending out more letters.
Okay. So sending out more letters. Okay. So do you know roughly how many letters you sent out? Until you hit this one, the first deal?
Probably maybe 700-800.
Okay, and how much were you spending? So how much were you spending on the 700 or 800 letters?
At that time, I didn't have direct mail, bulk mail set up, so I was paying 55 cents, like just buying stamps.
Right. So you go to Costco?
Yes.
Yeah.
I did. I bought like a big box of 500 envelopes. I bought like a 12-pack of yellow letters and some pens and got to writing. Like that was it.
You go, girls, because that's exactly what I did, Marquise. That's exactly what I did. So, okay. So 700-800 letters. So that you guys can do the math. About 50 cents. So you buy the envelopes, and obviously you buy the stamps, and you would handwrite these.
Yep. Handwrite, hand address, and put a stamp on it.
Got it. And then people would want to know, what do you put on the letter?
My first letter started out kind of long, and then I kind of kept shortening it over time. So at first I had like 3 whole paragraphs in there. But in essence, these letters were going to a list of landlords, absentee owner, that I got off of ListSource. And I was writing, "Hi, my name is Marquita. I'm a real estate investor, and I'm interested in buying some more properties in the area. And I'm interested in your property that you own at such and such address." And then further down, I would kind of skip a line and put, I can buy all cash, really quick closing. If you've ever thought about selling this house, give me a call, and put my number and my email address.
Awesome. Now, next question, Marquise, on the letters, on the letter, do you actually handwrite each and every single one, or is it on computer?
No, handwriting each and every single one.
Okay.
Right. With this pen.
Oh God. Okay. Listen. Let me save you guys. Marquise, you can continue doing that. No problem. But I first did that. And then my friend that I met on Bigger Pockets when I first started, he said, "Khang, why don't you just put on computer, and all you need to do is change the name and change the address?" I was like, oh, because you guys listen to me. Listen, whatever that is you write inside the envelope, and if the seller doesn't open it, right? If your prospect doesn't open it, then it's no good.
Right, wasted time.
Wasted time. So what I'm telling you is, you should spend more time on the envelope, not the letter. So the letter, just write something very simple. Do not go with the long one. Very short, sweet, straight to the point. All right, because when people see it long, they're not going to read it. So handwrite your envelopes is what takes time. But but to save you time, just go. It works for me. I'm just saying it works for me. And so you go on computer, and then just write out what you need to write, and all you need to change is the name of the seller and the address. That's it. Print it
Mm-hmm.
out, put it in, print it out, put it in, print it out. It's going to save you a lot of time.
Yes, yes. Like I would get off work and try to write as many as I could, but now, yeah, I don't even have the time to do that.
Yeah. So, so you send out letters. Okay. So, now the seller, the list is absentee landlord.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I just bought a list off List Source. Like I watched the Maxwell video on how to use the filters and just went and bought a list for like, I don't know, $76 or something, like however many that was, and just started sending letters to them.
Got it. Okay. Next.
And then I got a call from a guy, and he said that he got one of my letters, and he said, I actually do have one more house to sell. He was a landlord. He owned a couple houses, and he had one more to get rid of. And he was an investor himself, so he had already renovated and was renting it out, but he got an opportunity to start new development. So he got some land and was going to start new builds, and he just wanted to get rid of his rentals to kind of put all of that money and energy towards that. So we scheduled an appointment, and I tried to schedule it like within 24 to 48 hours. Like I believe the next day I was there for the appointment. And it's actually, I'm in the Dallas market, Dallas, Fort Worth. And I had kind of targeted like the outskirts of Dallas, Fort Worth, just because I don't know, common sense. I was thinking, well, maybe there's so much going on in the middle. Let me kind of target the outskirts. And this one is like about 45 minutes from Dallas.
Got it. Okay. So now I'm going to dissect the call really quick. So on the phone call, so the seller calls in.
Mm-hmm.
So Marquise, so on the phone, on the first call, what kind of information did you gather? So please be specific. What kind of information did you gather? And then you set the appointment to go out to meet with him at the property, right?
Yes. So
okay.
In the phone call, I asked how many bedrooms it was, bathrooms, garage or carport space. I asked square footage. I asked him like how old the property was, and it was really old. It was like a 1930 something, maybe, like a really old house. So I was like, oh shit. Like I was scared thinking, but he had renovated it really nice, so I was kind of glad. So I asked him that. I asked him important question. I asked him if it was free and clear. He said yes at that time. We'll get into that. But yes, he said it was free and clear. He said that he had tenant who just moved out maybe like a month ago because they closed on their own home. And he said they were great tenants, took care of the property. And he drove truck, so his wife would be there if I needed to see it or anything. And it was a 2-bedroom that he converted into a 3. So it ended up being a 3-bed, 1-bath. And what else did I ask? I think that was it. I think I asked like the very basic questions just because I wasn't sure as much what to ask. Like I wanted to know kind of the basic about the property and how much you owe. Like that's all I could think of. You know, when you forget your first call, you're kind of like, yeah. So you really don't have anything to ask.
So next question, Marquise, just a rough ideas of how many seller have you talked to until you come to this one? Roughly, just a rough.
I had talked to maybe 4 or 5.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't ask him anything about what he think the property's worth?
Right.
You didn't ask about the asking price?
Mm-mm. None of that. I asked like the very basic questions, and I was just like, schedule the appointment, you know, just out of nerves.
Gotcha.
I didn't ask him about repairs, condition, the price, or any of those things that I really would need to know.
So now this interview, you guys, it's going to be a little bit different because from experience, you know, I like to have my guests talk, but I really want to break down. So those of you who's listening, like tell me if I break it down like this, does it really help you more than if I just let the guest tell the whole story and then I'll come in at the end and ask any questions. So comment below. I really want to know. All right. I want to provide you guys with the value that you want. All right. Now, Marquise, knowing what you know now, right? Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
The future seller, when you talk to, what are some tips that you would do yourself or give to other?
Now I would say like if you're just starting out, maybe even give yourself a cheat sheet, like a cheat sheet of questions to ask, or kind of, you know, I could have looked up a lead sheet in a Facebook group or something. Like I would give that as a tip. You always want to know things like repairs, condition of the property, things like that, so that you can start working your numbers, because that way you can be prepared when you get there. You already actually have an idea of what your max offer would be versus just kind of like, yeah, I'm coming, I'm on the way, you know, rushing. Yeah, I would probably say that. Like, probably you can get a lead sheet from Facebook, Instagram, YouTubers like you, like just different. I would probably be prepared and kind of have that ready so that every time my phone rings, like I have that there, I sound like I know what I'm talking about. Like, I feel like I kind of won them over with personality. You know, we were just kind of chit chatting, which helps with building rapport.
Yeah.
But I didn't have like all the things I actually needed to be prepared when I get there. So definitely that. I encourage you, have your questions kind of ready so that you can be ready to run your numbers, you know, in your mind before you go.
I agree 100%. Now, Marquise, are you afraid of cold calling or talking to seller?
I'm not afraid of talking to sellers at all. I will say I'm afraid of cold calling. So like calling me, oh,
Yeah,
we're just going. Like we're talking like old friends. Me
I
actually
see.
making phone calls to them, it's like, hello, you know, but
I
yes,
see.
I'll be
Now,
honest.
okay, good. Now, have you done any cold calling?
I have not. I've done
Okay.
ringless voicemail. I
You,
kind of cheated my way out of that and started with RVM. So mail and RVMs are the two that I've done.
okay, gotcha. Now, next question is, what are you afraid of about cold calling? Because I really want to get into people's mind that are afraid of cold calling,
Hmm.
not knowing what to say or getting cussed at or what?
Yeah, I guess that
Or
part.
feel
Like
awkward or what?
yeah, even when I started this business, like I knew I would have to psych myself up because I've never been one to just kind of talk to strangers or kind of network. So even when I go to networking events, like I'm making myself talk to people first.
Yeah.
I've always been kind of like the quiet person, and you come to me and
Yep.
talk, and it's like, oh, she's friendly,
Yep.
but I don't take the initiation.
Yep.
So or the initiative. So I guess just kind of taking the initiative to make those calls and not knowing how they're going to be received. You know, like, are they busy? Are they at work? You know, being prepared to apologize for like the random phone call, that kind of thing. So yeah, I don't really think the no's bother me, but I think just kind of taking the initiative to call them, and it's like, well, who are you? You know,
Yeah.
they just not knowing how their reception will be, I guess.
I see. Gotcha. So what
Mhm.
it is what's the fear is you calling them, maybe it's them them coming out asking you something that you might not know,
Right,
or
because I may not know the answer to that question. Then it's like, well, why'd you call me if you don't know
yeah.
what you're talking about? You
I
know.
got you. Okay.
Mhm.
The reason I ask these questions, guys, is some of you, obviously when you start out with very little money, the best way, like to me anyway, that I heard now that gets really good results is cold calling, right? You see a
Mhm.
trace list and you can just pound the phone, because it requires your time now, right? But if you're so afraid of cold calling, I'm telling you, you're missing out on opportunities. And let me tell you why you're afraid of cold calling, in my opinion anyway. You see, and let me give you guys another tips. Marquise, I was just like you when I started. I was just like you when I started. Like even now, when I go to mastermind, sometimes I just kind of sit in the back. You know what I mean? Like when I go to like when I first started, I go to the local RE. I was always sitting in the back. I afraid, like I have questions, but afraid to raise my hand, like to ask the questions. I would wait until the speaker's done, then I would sneak over to him or her or whoever that is, and then ask them the questions and sit behind the room, wait until the other person approach me. And for those of you who are similar, let me help you get over this, okay? Extremely important. To get what you want, you must go after it.
Mhm.
You cannot wait for the thing, that person, whoever that is, to come to you. Listen to me, because sometime it might come to you, but I'm saying your chances of waiting for that thing to come to you, do not. You got to prep your mind up and say, I came here, my intention is to get my question answered, right? So that way it's worth my time that I came here for. You got to come there with a goal and intention, and do not leave, and do whatever it takes. Just get out your comfort zone, whatever it is, understanding that I am holding myself back from achieving my goal, from getting
Right.
what I
Right.
want. Push yourself all the way and said, who cares? I need to go get the things that I want. I come here for one thing, and that is to walk away with the information I need. So
Mhm.
not like literally, you guys, I wasn't afraid of cold calling, but it took me a while to get over that, because I was in a room, and then, it took me a while, and then I was walking away from a couple RIA, not getting my answer. And then I have to ask myself, I say, Khang, why do you spend the time going to this RIA and this meetup
Right.
and walk away with not getting what you want? Like, what is the point of you going there, bro? And then I prep myself up. I said, I will not do that again. The next time I go, when I leave, even I go to mastermind now. When I leave, I'm going to get my information. I don't care. I am going to approach and get my answer. So hopefully that helps you guys. And for the cold calling, listen. For the cold calling, you guys are afraid of cold call because you guys are overthinking. Khang, what if they're in pre-foreclosure? What if it's a probate? What if it's this lead, that lead? How should I approach it? Listen to me. You're afraid of cold call because you don't call and talk to another seller. Second is you never train. All right, you never train on how to talk to seller and how to handle the phone call, how to handle the objections, how to handle the seller questions. Once you gain the confidence, right? Once you gain the confidence of knowing what to say, I promise you, cold calling will be like a piece of cake because you're afraid because you don't know what to say. And obviously you haven't done it. So you're doing something that is not the norm. It's uncomfortable for you. But I promise you, knowing what to say and being able to know what to say will help you overcome that a lot. So that's why I'm telling people that when you first start out, take some time and learn how to talk to seller. Take some time and get a script online or something like that. That's why I'm telling you guys, the King Kong seller script, you guys are underestimating it. I'll teach you guys how to control, how to talk to the seller so you can overcome. So when you get on the phone, you will freaking sound like you will have the confidence because you know how to handle all the objections. Whether like, well, why are you calling me? So, Marquita, the reason why I'm calling, the reason why I'm calling is I work for a local investment company. We're looking to buy some properties in the area, probably 2 or 3 to 5 more properties in the next 30 to 60 days. I was just wondering if you might have an interest in selling or possibly receive a free, no risk, no obligation cash offer. That's it. But
Damn.
you do not know, you don't know how to pitch that, right? Because you never taught. Right? So when you pick up the call, they're like, you're like, that's why you're afraid. Well, what kind of question they're going to ask me? Like, what's going to happen? You don't need to know what happened. You just need to know how to handle and control the call. All right. So anyways, Marquita, let's jump. And the thing is, you guys do not get over analyze about, what list. Nobody wants to be target. Like Marquita do not like it if I pick up the phone and I say, hey, Marquita, I understand that you're in pre-foreclosure. This is. She's going to take offensive and like, whoa, how do you know that? Like, people in bad situation, they don't want to put it out there, right? Nobody want to put their bad things out there for people to know, and knowing that you're going around scooping around, trying to get, build the rapport with the seller, get that relationship. And I promise you, they're going to open up to you. Right. They're going to open up and let you know what the situation
They
is.
love to talk.
Correct. So don't overthink. I'm sorry to take up a lot of time. So Marquita, go ahead. Continue.
So I went
now you set the appointment. You went out to the property same day?
Next day.
Okay.
Went to the property and his wife was there. He actually is a truck driver. So he was on the road a lot. So I met his wife there and she was prepared for me, but she didn't know why I was coming. So It was kind of funny. And I was like, hey, my name is Marquita and I talked to your husband. I'm supposed to be viewing the house. And she was just kind of like, oh, okay. Well, yeah, he told me come over here. But so I built a good rapport with her too, because I'm thinking she's seeing me face to face and I wanted her to give a good review or a good recommendation or just a good, to her husband to let her know how it went.
Right.
So she let me see the house and it really was good. I mean, nice. He had renovated it I think September or maybe around the summer of 2017. So it only had that one tenant in it. So the house had really been redone nicely and it was really clean, I think some light carpet cleaning and it would be ready for a new tenant because they had really just moved out. And I mean, I guess they did take good care of it unless maybe they cleaned it before I got there, but it looked really good. So I met with him, the wife there, and then I ended up calling him on the phone when I got in the car to talk to him about a price. And he asked for $70K. And again, I made the mistake of not really having all my numbers done before I went. Learn from me. And I was like, well, what? Just because he went with 70, I just decided, let me just go lower. Because I didn't have it all together in my mind, but I knew I was not going to go with exactly what they said. But I did do recommended. I let him give me a number first. And then I was kind of so I went down from there, tried to meet him somewhere and he was stuck at 70. So then I just went with 70 on a hope and a prayer that whatever the ARV was in the area, but I knew it was a buy and hold or rental. I mean, it's a suburb, kind of the country. I wouldn't even say suburb. I'm gonna say rural country, and really like a strong rental market, not really for flips. But I thought I'm gonna get this under contract here and kind of just learn as I go. So even if I learned from it, I knew that there would be some type of value that I would get, because some stuff you just can't learn until you do it. So we got it under contract for 70, and we signed the contract right then. I stopped at like a FedEx on the way home and sent it to a title company. And then I came home, got on my laptop, got on Facebook, and started hunting for a buyer.
Okay. I'm going to break down the conversation with you and the seller really quick.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you who don't find the value in the King Kong seller script, let me break this down for you, and I'll show you why. What if I'm able to help you just to negotiate with the seller and get the seller to come down 1,000, 2,000, 3,000? You guys see, when it comes to negotiating with the seller, you must know how to negotiate with them, right? To get them to, okay, now my question, Marquise, to you is you went in the car, you did your walkthrough on the property. What do you think the rehab would be?
I thought maybe 5,000, like literally just cosmetic. It looked like a tenant had not even been there, but he said they had been out like less than a month.
Okay.
But really, even the carpet cleaning was not that serious. Like it could be like a rug doctor from Walmart, just rented and cleaned up. So
oh, wow.
The place was clean. The appliances were in there. It was really tenant ready. So really turnkey.
Okay. So it's a turnkey. It's rent ready. So so tell me if I'm wrong. So it doesn't have granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, or tile bathroom, shower, floor. It just has the standard.
It had black appliances. No washer and dryer. In the bathroom, there was new flooring just because he had just renovated it.
Right.
But it was a very basic rental, like for a rural area, not like a top-notch upgrade.
Got it. You guys, very important. Like I asked these questions to Marquita. It's very important because those of you, so that way you understand. This is not like all the bell and whistle. It doesn't have granite countertops, right? It doesn't have the tiles around the wall. It just have the tub and shower.
Right.
Like if you walk into a rental, this is rental ready, nice, ready to go. Got it. So $5K. And what do you think the rent would be?
He was charging $850. I did look on like rent.com or a couple websites like that to see about the area. And in the area, there were some, even like Zillow, there were some listed for like $950, $1050. So really kind of $950, $1050 range. So I did know that he was renting it a little lower and that it had a little potential to come up a little higher. So when I asked him about the rent and he said $850, that kind of made me think about the 1% rule. And I thought, okay, he's asking for 70. He was renting it for $850, so that does meet that 1% rule. So I can kind of use that going forward when I talk to my buyers.
Very good, Marquita. So now in this location, this area, is it mainly rental or is it in a rental area, or is it more, or is there a homeowner mixed in?
More rental, I would say, as far as investing is concerned. The homeowners in that area probably have owned those homes since 1900. I mean, it's a very rural area.
Got it. So Marquita went in this knowing that, hey, if I lock it up on a contract at 70K, knowing that it can rent up for about $950 with the 1% rule. I mean, this is more than the 1% rule, so it makes sense. So she went and lock it up. Okay. So I'm trying to dissect what she's thinking, sitting there talking to the seller. And what do you think the ARV is, Marquita?
I would say maybe 110 at the highest.
110 the highest. Okay. Got it. All right. Now let's move on. Okay. I want to move on the phone call with you with the seller real quick. Just a short tips here. If I can add any value to you, Marquita. So let me know tell me a little bit about the phone call with you and the seller.
When I talked to him, I asked him, just general conversation stuff like why was he selling, and he told me about the new builds and that he wanted to start that. I asked him about like the area with rentals and tenants. Like I asked him how long it took to find a tenant, just kind of those kind of questions to kind of make conversation, but also to kind of get that information, because I knew going forward for a buyer, I was looking for a buy and hold buyer. I wanted to kind of have those kind of tips and that information, like about the area. And even when I left the house, I kind of rode around the neighborhood a little bit, just to kind of get an idea of what it looked like around there, where there are a lot of kids, a lot of houses, if they have like any trashy areas and things like that. During the conversation, I did have my paper and pencil like out. So as he talked, I was kind of doing my formula then rather than beforehand.
Okay.
So even when he threw the 70 out, I just kind of wrote down and kind of went from there. Like I had my phone, laptop, and computer. So I was kind of working while we were talking.
So,
And,
so,
go ahead.
Marquita, when you asked, so obviously you asked him, what he wants for the property. He said 70,000.
He wanted 70. He told me that he had bought it. He had put so much into it. The HVAC system was brand new because it didn't have central heat and air before. So he, paid 12 grand for that. It still had an 8-year warranty. He just really talked about like all the money and the repairs that he had put into the rehab of the property.
I see.
Again, at the same time, he told me it was free and clear, which later was not, right? But he just kept telling me, what he had put into it, and he was asking for 70K. And it really was like the nicest house, like on the block. Like you could tell he really did a good job on it. So as I was writing and like calculating while he talked, I had written down like 68K. So when he asked for 70, like I tried to go lower than that. I started like 58, came up to 60. He wouldn't budge at the 70, and I had written down 68. So I thought, okay, 2,000, that's something that I may be able to kind of wiggle with. And it wasn't too far from what I had calculated. So I went with the 70,000.
Got it. So Marquita. So when he met, if you can remember, when he said 70,000, what was your negotiating, like what was your comeback on it?
The first thing I said, is that the best you can do? Because I heard that, like, is that the best you can do? And I heard that like at a RIA meeting or something like that.
Gotcha, okay.
So it was literally like trying to remember as I was going through this whole process. Like,
right, okay, good.
So I asked him, was that the best you could do? And I was like, and I said, well, generally in this neighborhood, just different investors. And I kind of tried to use, not like the lowball him, but kind of use the tactic of talk about what other investors are paying for in the area. But the only thing was, the difference was he had already rehabbed this property.
Gotcha.
Most other people in the area are taking low cash offers because they're sellers that own them. And so it was a little different, I felt like, as far as the circumstance, because this was an investor who had just rehabbed the property. So it was a little hard for me to kind of negotiate based on all the work it needed or what investors are paying other people in the neighborhood. So that part kind of presented a challenge to me because this one is kind of one that was done already.
Right. So, all right, Marquita. So right when he said 70, you said, is that the best is that the best you can do? So that's your comeback. Is that the best you can do? And the seller said, yes, right?
He said, yeah, I can't go any lower than that because yada, yada, yada.
And what did you come back?
And I don't remember. It was probably something just as cliche as, is that the best you can do? It was probably something like, when I said, well, I'd have to talk to my partner about that. I said, that's kind of, that's kind of high budget. I said, we already have like 2 or 3 this month. So I was like, oh, my partner's going to kill me,
Okay.
Kind of trying to give him kind of that guilt trip kind of thing to let him know it wasn't just me.
Yeah, love it.
Of us doing that. So I used something like that, and he was like, let me think about it. But, I wanted to try to at least have a verbal kind of decision then. And he was like, well, hold on a second. He put me on hold. I don't know if he was calculating at the same time.
Yeah.
Too. And he comes back and he was like, man, I can't take less than 70. I've already done so much to it, kind of yada, yada, yada. And then eventually I conceded to go with the 70. Yeah, but that was the harder part. And I'm thinking, why would I pick for my first rehab a house that's done versus,
See, the thing is, Marquita, I think it's just because you don't have the right negotiating technique now. You guys, listen to me. When I first started, exactly same, Marquita, is that the best you can do? Is that the lowest you take? What's your bottom line?
Yeah, they're same little sentences.
Yes, you guys, listen. Those are not good negotiating questions. The negotiating question, the good one is like, why? Well, 70,000. Well, what? Like the seller think, well, you want me to lower the price, but why? Why should I lower the price? Let me give you a questions. So let's just say you're a seller, 70,000. And I like how Marquita say, Hmm, 70,000. Marquita, let me tell you this. Our company also, we're willing to pay for all your closing costs. So things like all the excise tax, the transfer tax, the title insurance, the escrow fee, we'll take care of all that for you. So with that being said, could you see yourself going, a little bit lower than 70,000?
Good shit.
And then you just zip. You guys, Marquita, you think that is good? You guys, my King Kong seller script package, Marquita, if you want to make the investment, and hey, it's up to you, right? I'm not telling you to buy or not. Only if you see the value in it. I'll show you exactly how to talk, how to negotiate with the seller, how to get him to drop price, like drop it like it's hot. Lock these property up on the contract over the phone, whether you want to do it over the phone or you want to meet the seller. You guys, I'll show you how true negotiating goes with the seller. If I can help you, listen, if I can help you get the seller to drop $1,500, $2,000, and you're able to have this knowledge and use it over and over and over again, what is that worth to you? And you pay it one time of $495. If that's something you're interested in, you guys, the link is right in the descriptions. Go to wholesaletomillions.com and you can find it there. Now, Marquita, you think that's good? Watch. The guy said, I want to think about it, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you went and dropped the price to him of what? I want to know what's the first price that you dropped to the seller.
The first price I gave, I think, was 58.
And he said, obviously, it's too low, right?
Right. He said, "Oh, that's too low. I can't do that. I've put some, I did the whole bathroom, excuse me, and changed it from 2 beds to 3 beds and all that." Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. So listen, so the seller, okay, when the seller said, I got to think about it, right? So the seller said, because you said 68 or something, then he said he want to think about it?
Yeah, that was kind of the closest we got. When I said 68, then he said he would think about it.
Man, you guys, this gap is so small. Okay, watch this. So Marquita, when he said he wants to think about it, what's the next thing you said?
I think I tried to keep talking to keep him on the phone, and I think I said something about, I think that's when I brought in the partner thing.
Go ahead. Okay.
I have to talk to my partner about that. I said, it's not a lot. I said, but when you think about, all that we're paying for and the distance and, escrow fees and things like that. I think I used kind of those generalized terms, and I brought in kind of the partner aspect of it.
Okay. That's it?
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to know is you guys agreed on the phone right there and then at 70, right?
Yes.
What I want to know is what did you come back and say when he said he's going to think about it? And then you brought the whole partner thing. But what did you say? Because you guys obviously agree right there at 70. It wasn't a callback. So I want to know what you said.
Yeah, we went from there, and I kind of told about my partner, and he said, well, yeah, I think he went with me just find out and let me know what y'all can do or something like that. So I guess he, I was on the wrong side, obviously. But on his side, he was kind of, he didn't want to seem desperate. So just let me know what you can do. I just can't go any lower than 70. I'd love to sell to you guys, and I want to get rid of it quickly. But I just have to at least get back some of what I've put into it because of my new venture and this and that. And I think I went into okay, well, my partner's going to kill me. And I kind of hesitated a little bit. And then I said, well, you know what, we'll do 70. I said, we can stretch for 70. I said, I love the house. I love the property. I think it'll be a great rental. The neighborhood seems great. I said, so we can meet at 70.
Marquita.
And I kind of lost that negotiation.
So, okay. So Marquita, I understand exactly what you said, Marquita. I understand you put a lot of work into the property. I understand you're trying to get the most you can for the property. I absolutely understand that. And my job here is, obviously, we want to pay you the most we can and to work out a deal that's fair for both parties, right? That's a win-win because I understand that if you didn't get the, if you didn't get, if you didn't get the price you want, there's no reason why you would sell it. And we just hope that you can understand, Marquita, as an investor, we do want to make some kind of a gain when we buy, but obviously in exchange, we're providing you with all this hassle-free sale, right? And taking all the closing costs for you. So let me ask you this question, Marquita. I know you mentioned that you want to think about it. So is it the price that you want to think about? Is it the process? Or is it me that we didn't have a good relationship here? And the seller would say it's the price. Well, let me ask you, Marquita, and then you sweep in. So, Marquita, you know, it doesn't seem like we're too far apart. I'm at 68 and you're at 70. Let me ask you this, Marquita. Where do we need to be right now in price for us to move forward and do this deal together?
Boom.
Boom. Like you guys, when you don't know how to negotiate, you just don't know how to negotiate. And if you want, like I said, if you want to spend the next 5 months, 6 months trying to figure this out, I'm telling you, talking to seller, negotiating is extremely important. That is where you squeeze the juice and get the best deal. You got to know how to negotiate with them. You guys, I could sell it to drop like 20,000, 40,000, 50,000 from 70,000 down to 68, down to 65. That's a 5K. If you know how to negotiate, Marquis, I know you can probably get this for like cheaper so you can make a larger profit. I'm just that, you know, so when you don't know, and then when he mentioned the price, Marquita, I do not want you to say, yeah, I think we can do that. Don't. What I want you to do is I want you to give him a confirm. Confirm with him first. Then what you do is come back. So you want to be the one, Marquita, when you negotiate, you got to be the one that makes the final decisions. Do not let the seller make the final decision. Because when you let the seller make the final decisions, the seller's going to say, oh, I want to think about it. Oh, I got to talk to my wifey, my husband, my little chihuahua, my dog, my cat. No, none of that. You want to be the last one, and how you position yourself is saying, hey, so let's just say the seller said, hey, you know, I guess I can do like, well, you know, 69. We can meet in the middle. Can you meet in the middle? We do 69. And do not jump the gun and said, yeah, I think we can make that work. Do not. Just say, just want to get the commitment first. So Marquita, if I can get my partner to approve and jump on board and do the 69, you are ready to get the paperwork done and sell your property. Is that correct?
Right. Yes.
So get the commitment first before you. So you see how you position yourself.
Yeah,
That's
it was like in the moment I knew I was on the wrong side of the table, and then like driving home, I was thinking to myself, "You are terrible at negotiating." Like I started googling like negotiation tactics and all the kind of stuff because I'm like, you can't convince anybody to do anything. Like it was, and I had never realized I wasn't a good negotiator until this experience. Like I had never thought, am I a good negotiator? Can I persuade someone to do something? Never even thought about it until this. In driving home, I was just like, well, you got a contract, but it was deadly. Like it was brutal.
Awesome. So, okay. So Marquita, let's move on and jump into talking about finding the buyer. So where do you market to find the buyers?
I went onto Facebook, and I'm in a lot of Facebook groups, but instead of posting it in there, I went to the top of the group, like where you can search, and I put in like that city. So I put in like Corsicana just to see if other people had posted about Corsicana, Texas. And on those posts that came up, I asked those people like who had posted, hey, did you ever find a buyer for this property? Like I was just sending them a private message and asked them. Okay. And then on a couple of them, you know, people will put looking for buyers in such and such text. So under those people that left emails, I just started emailing everybody and sending it out. And then I got a response back. And then we did the assignment contract on the 8th. So it took me about 24 hours just sending out those emails. And I just looked, because I didn't want to go into the groups and put those posts and like wait for people. So I just started kind of going to them. Like you say, just go to it. Like I emailed them. I asked, hey, did you find a buyer for this house in Corsicana? Hey, I see you posted in a group, you know, looking for a buyer in Corsicana. Who did you find, or who did you speak to? And just kind of tried to ask people who they talked to in that area.
Marquita, I love it. So you just took the action and freaking did it. Nice. Mm-hmm. So everybody probably want to know, which Facebook group is it?
Wholesaling Houses Elite.
Oh, okay. So Max Maxwell.
Yes, Max's group. I'm in that one. I'm in another group.
Which group? I just want to know, which group did the buyer come from?
The buyer came from I think it's DFW Wholesales and Flips or something like that. If you search DFW Wholesales, it comes up. So it was a local group.
Gotcha. Okay. So it's like a local RIA.
Yes, right? Kind of like DFW Wholesale Network.
Got it.
Or something.
Done. Okay. So you got in contact with the buyer. The buyer came out, looked at the property.
Mm-hmm. We went back maybe a day or two later. I met him there, and the wife again met us there because the seller was driving. We did all the contracts through DocuSign. Nice. So we went back, and I also learned with the buyer like different questions to ask. Like when it came to repairs, I learned about like specifics, you know, like the warranty on the HVAC, or and how many spots has the foundation been leveled. So really like listening when your buyers kind of talking, like really that will help you know exactly what buyers are looking for. So now I kind of have that mindset of looking at repairs as though I would be buying it myself. So that was very helpful too. Like I made sure I kind of stayed close with the buyer, listened to the things that he said, was kind of taking mental notes. And when we got there and we kind of talked privately, like away from the wife, and he was telling me he thinks this and he would rent it for this. And he's like, it is kind of far out, which I did get that feedback from some buyers. Like I said, that it was kind of far out from Dallas. And he agreed to take it. And initially, I think my first price, I was asking for 80. Like I had it under contract for 70 and I was asking for 80. And when he talked about some of like the foundation issues and things like that, just repair things I didn't know, just from inexperience, we met in the middle at 75.
Got it. You met at 75, so that should have been a 5K. Why did it end up to be only 4,000 and something?
Let me tell you, because that cash buyer did not have all the cash he said he had. And he told me he was using a hard money lender. And, you know, he said, you know, it would take about 14 days. And I was fine with that. The seller was fine with that. So he ended up trying to use a VA loan. And so during the midst of, you know, everything, we kept extending the date because, of course, VA loans take much longer. And then conventional financing, there's a survey needed. So he got a survey. And then his lender, you know, it takes so long, they wanted a new survey. And he, at this point, was kind of frustrated. The seller was frustrated. And it was just more important to me to keep my word to the seller. Like I wanted the deal to close. You know, I don't want to be out here doing business where I'm not closing deals. And it's just kind of like, oh, well, the buyer played me, so it's your fault. No. So it was more important to me for that. So I agreed to pay $500 for the survey. And there were tax. So I ended up making $44.90 something. Yeah.
Gotcha. Understood. And Marquita, respect. I would have done the same thing. So good decisions, good move. Now, okay, for those of you who ask me, Khang, can you wholesale a deal to a retail buyer that's going to get a conventional loan, VA loan? The answer is yes. I have done it, but you got to understand, some bank will okay with assigning, some bank don't. Also, too, is when you do with conventional loan, you got to understand that it takes about 45 to possibly 60 days to close on it. Sometimes could be 30 if they really do it, all the paperwork done on time. It could be 30, but typically, you know, 30, 45 to possibly even 60 days because you're dealing with a conventional buyer. Now, you want to make sure when you deal with a retail buyer like that, they are walked through the property. Do not allow them to have a home inspection.
Because, we didn't know.
Right. He didn't. What he did is because to pass with the bank, it doesn't need a home inspection. What it needs is the appraisal. The appraisal needs to pass for it to qualify for a bank loan, which means if the buyer's going to buy it at 80, that appraiser needs to come in at 80,000 or more. If it comes in less, the bank's going to have a problem, and the problem is the buyer have to come up with the difference. So if it comes in like at 75. Let's just say that now he's buying at 75 and it comes in at 70. Well, the buyer needs to come in an extra $5,000 to make up the difference. All right. So hope that makes sense to you guys, but be aware to take that in considerations when you're thinking about that. I deal with cash is straight easy. All right. But I'm just saying for those of you who have to do what you need to do, also too is one more tips. The house that they're buying, make sure that it got to be in a good condition. Otherwise, the appraiser come and there's a bunch of rehab. That's why we don't sell to conventional. If there's a lot of work need to be done, it's not going to pass the appraisal, which means all of those has to be fixed before the bank will actually move.
Right. Sure. And it was just, it was on my side that it had just been rehabbed. So it passed the appraisal very quickly.
That is correct.
On the assignment part, we actually, I did an addendum to the amendment to the contract, and we threw out the assignment contract and we just kind of wrote it in special provisions that 5,000 of that came to my company. So that's how we got around assigning it.
Got you. So the buyer pays you outside of escrow, or how does it work?
Yes. Well, kind of. The special provision said something like withdraw assignment contract, and sales price will go to seller minus 5,000. That will go to Best Choice Residential LLC. And we just didn't call it any kind of fee. Like we didn't put assignment fee. We didn't put marketing fee or referral fee. It just was written into special provision. So his lender approved it because it didn't actually have the word assignment in it.
I see. Gotcha. Okay.
Because
Got
you
it.
are correct. Conventional lenders don't approve assignments.
Yeah.
So
Marquita, so you do get the check cut at the time of, so you do get the check cut by the title company or by the buyer?
it came from the title company.
Got it. Okay. Got it.
Because we worded it like that. So yeah, just problem solving along the way. You know, we need more time for the loan, so we did a date extension. You can't do an assignment for a VA loan, so I put withdraw assignment contract and just wrote in a special provision. Everything minus 5,000 goes to the seller. So just learning to problem solve along the way and kind of figure that out. You know, the survey came up and the buyer was just kind of like, he's tired of doing it. He didn't have, okay, I'll pay for the survey. So I get when people say stay in control of the deal now, because I just had to maintain control and like keep coming up with solutions to those problems, because the title company is just going to say, hey, you can't do assignments. You want to terminate? No, I got a plan, so just keep coming up, like keep solving those problems and make it to the closing table.
Marquita, I love it. And congrats.
Thank you.
First deal and many more to come. So now let's wrap this up because we're running out of time here. Yeah. Marquita, what kind of tips, advice that you would give to those that are just starting out and it took you 9 months to get your first deal? All right. What kind of tips or advice you can give to those?
Just starting out, I would say, people talk about analysis paralysis. You get just caught up watching videos. I would definitely say educate yourself on things that are pertinent. Like you say, negotiating, talking to a seller. Don't just watch videos about people making money, or just watch videos, people getting checks. Because, I would do those things to pump myself up, but then in the act, there are things that you need to know that you missed out on. So educate yourself on the actual process of doing the deal. And then also, like I said, staying in control. When the title company says this came up, ask questions. Like I would ask, them, how can I fix this? How can I do this? So definitely ask questions, ask your buyer questions. Don't be afraid if you don't know something or think, oh, the deal's falling apart. I don't know what I'm doing. You can problem solve all of that. Just stay on top of that. Like keep in your mind, I can fix this. It's not the end of the road or end of the deal. People DM me and I just started myself. And like, since I've posted about this first deal, like, hey, this came up and I've had 4 deals fall apart. What happened? 4? Like you problem solve that, and that was my personality before real estate. So I just kind of transcended that to real estate. Like I'm going to fix it. Whatever needs to be done, I'm going to do that. So I would definitely say educate yourself on the actual process and the things you need to know, rather than just kind of being pumped up, for the finances. And for me, myself, negotiation is now my focus. And definitely marketing, like have a consistent marketing plan. Like now that I have this first check, my plan is to kind of come up with my marketing budget kind of the next 3 to 6 months so that I can stay consistent, because I don't want to get one deal and then kind of fall off. So it's kind of my plan to keep the ball rolling and focus on kind of my negotiation skills, but do it too. Take action. Like buy a pen and buy some paper and start writing. Just whatever it is, whether it's calling, like you say, pick up your cell phone, get a Google number and start calling. Just start doing something and it will come to you.
Marquita, very, very good. Let me tell you guys something here. There are people, and I'm going to be honest, there are people that I bring on, their first deal are lucky. And it's lucky if they cannot consistently after the first deal, like it takes them another 4, 5, 6 months, cannot do another one because they don't have a game plan in place. They don't have a marketing budget in place. What kind of marketing do they need to do to start generating the leads coming in? All right. Now, how do they go about building up their cash buyer list? Like learning how to talk to seller, negotiating with them, figure out a action plan, a business plan. Just you listen, you can get lucky once, but I promise you in this business, it's not about getting lucky, man. I mean, are you trying to build a business or are you trying to get lucky? Right?
Right. Learn from each deal.
So what Marquita just said, I agree with her 100%. Let me tell you how hard. You see people posting checks. Let me tell you how hard it is to make in this business. Now, I don't tell you this to discourage you. I tell you this so you can be prepared and prep yourself up for the journey that you're about to go down. You see people do the first deal, great. First deal, the process, great. But let me tell you how many people will actually make it and continue to deal consistently. Extremely rare. And you know how much more rare that you see people actually doing 10,000 a month, 20,000 a month, 50,000 a month, the 6-figure a month. Dude, it takes a tremendous amount of work, and you have to reinvest into yourself and into your business day in and day out. Dude, it's not easy. But what I'm telling you is, obviously we all know it's worth it, because you're creating your own lifestyle. You know, eventually you're going to make your own shot, you know, call your own shot, living life on your own terms. But before that, you got to pay the price. And I'm telling you, it's extremely, you see all these people that do their first deal, I promise you, even if I bring them back, really rare that they are staying consistent with keeping deal coming in. And that's just the real. I'm just being real. When you get your deals, you need to have a plan, a clear plan of what you need to do with that money to start creating and generating that deals flows, and get the ball and just keep on rolling and rolling and rolling. All right, you guys, you got to ask yourself, am I in this to create a business, or am I in this to get lucky? If you want to create a business, you got to put the money back in and reinvest into your business. Now, Marquita, how do people connect with you?
I'm on Instagram. Marquita Shines is my Instagram. So MarquitaShines. Same thing on Facebook, Marquita Shines. So social media is pretty much the quickest way to get to me. I'm in the Dallas-Fort Worth market. So locally, I go to the events around, like network, things like that. So if you see me there, you can give me a shout. But yeah, hit me up on Instagram, Facebook. I'm there.
I love it, Marquita. Thank you so much for your time, you guys. Before I wrap this up, I just want to tell you, those of you who wants to take your negotiating skills to the next level, you're tired trying to figure this out, check this out. My King Kong seller script package. I'll show you exactly how I talk, exactly how I train my VA up to talk like a freaking pro. Lock these deals up under contract. Like I said, whether you're dealing with the seller face-to-face or over the phone, I don't care. I don't care what list you call. I don't care what kind of objection the seller have. I got you covered. The investment is $495. Only for those of you, now listen, only make the investment and pull the trigger that you understand that, Khang, I am going to put in the work. The script is not a magic where you get it and you just sit there and wish and praying that the seller's going to call. No, you got to do the work. You got to go and market yourself, cold call. But I'm saying, as long as you get leads coming in, as long as you're talking to the seller, I'll show you how to lock you up on the contract and negotiate with them like a freaking pro. All right. So if you are ready, the link is in the description. Go to Wholesale to Millions, no S, wholesale2million.com. It's $495. And once again, you guys, if those of you who are interested, who wants to move forward with me on the 2K web class, we have a couple seats open for the first 20 people that wants to join me on July 28th. And this is exactly what we're doing. As you can see, it's a lot of times you just don't know what you don't know. If you want to end the year strong, if you want to, whether you maybe you don't have a deal closed yet and you're trying to figure this out, let me help you get everything figured out so you can close your first deal by the end of the year. Or maybe you're looking to scale up. Let's put a system in place, a correct system in place so you can really scale up your business and consistently close deals. So you guys, to get what you want, you either pay with time or money. My goal on that day is for you to come with a goal and I to give you an action plan, a clear action plan, exactly what you need to do and exactly what we're doing with Marquita here. Like I'm going to dissect your market. Maybe your market is too competitive. Maybe you need to move into a new market. I'm going to dissect your marketing plan and tell you what's working, what's not working. I'm going to dissect what is going on in your business. How are you talking to seller? Why are you not getting deal on the contract? Like, we're going to go dissect and we're going to get deep and we're going to give you a clear action plan. So I'm going to give you a foundation, how to get your CRM set up, what company to use, get your website set up, get your email straight, right? Get do you need an LLC to start? Listen, if you don't have the money, you don't need to get an LLC. You can put it under your name. But if you do, we'll figure out your marketing budget. All right. So that way you can stay consistent in your market. You guys, listen, to get deals, you need to stay consistent on your marketing. But see, if you don't know, you just don't know. So you're going to go through the trial and error. I'm not going to give you the trial and error. I'm going to tell you what's working for us, and with your marketing budget, whether you have a few $100 or you have a few $1,000 to market, I'm going to show you how to stretch that money and make the most of it you can. I'm going to give you all the strategies, all the company we use, getting you set up properly so you can go out there and crush it. All right. If that is something that you're looking for, you're seeking for, if that is you I'm talking to, and like I said, this is not for everybody. It is going to require the investment of $2,000, whether you're single or you're a couple, your partner, I don't care. It's $2,000. All right. Happened on July 28th. Shoot me an email over to wholesale to millions at gmail.com. The link is in the descriptions, and we're ready to rock and roll. We're going to spend the whole entire day together to dissect where you're at right now. So give you a clear action plan of exactly when you walk away. I promise you, when you walk away from that meeting, you get all your questions answered, but more importantly is you're going to have a clear plan of exactly what you need to do. And I will not let you leave until I get a yes from you and say, hey, Khang, I got everything I needed, bro. It's worth it. I'm happy. Let's rock and roll. Otherwise, we're going to stay on until you give me the yes, Khang. I got this plan. I know exactly what I need to do. I do not want you to walk away confused, lost. I want you to walk away knowing that, Khang, dude, the missing link, I got to figure out. I'm ready to rock and roll. And the thing is, you guys, listen to me. Like, what if one tips, one strategies, one thing that I can share with you on there, just one thing that helps you lock one more deal up on the contract? What is that worth to you? So, like I said, everybody see the value in it different. This is only for those of you who sees the value, who see how this is going to help them take them to the next level. If you're ready, if you're committed, let's rock and roll. Marquita, thank you so much for your time. I truly appreciate it. Much success. Congrats. And keep us posted on your success, okay?
I will.
Until next time, you guys. Ciao.
Thank you.